Yeah, guess who's back? It's back chat's back and I'm better than ever. Gonna post content no matter the weather. Hard work, dedication, Floyd Mayweather. Bomb squad, about to put the game on a stretcher. AJ had a couple of off nights. Root switches, lights off and Usyk hitting with straight rights. Canelo chasing greatness but came up short. Javonte Davis knocks out Rolly, man, that's what I thought. Terence Crawford pound for pound on everybody's list. The big fish gonna do the talking with his fist. Teofimo still planning the takeover. Haney, Shakur and Davies are taking the game over. But guess who's back? I said guess who's back? Man,
What's up, guys? Just real quick post-fight reaction to Lomachenko's fight with Ortiz. I'm not going to do a long video this time because I often say that and end up talking for 20 minutes, but I'm not going to do that this time. Lomachenko was off for about a year because of obviously the war that's going on in his homeland, which he was a part of. I think he went over there to serve in some kind of respect. I'm not sure what he was doing, but he did serve over there for his in Ukraine for the people. I think that's very commendable as a boxer, and then to come back to train and to come back after a year off and fight an up and coming undefeated fighter definitely was another thing that I'd commend him on right off the back. But actually in the fight where there's signs of rust, I thought that he would win quite comfortably. There were some signs of rust, you know, he was a bit rusty in there. If you've been off for a year, it doesn't matter how good you are, there's going to be a small issue with timing, with all sorts of things, and I think we saw a little bit of evidence of that within the first 6 rounds. I think Ortiz won. First of all, they both looked in good condition. Lomachenko was smaller than Ortiz, and this is a reoccurring theme about Ortiz, which about Lomachenko a lot of people don't really speak about. There's a lot of detractors that always say, "Oh, Lomachenko he's not really that good. He's overhyped," and all sorts of things. Lomachenko is a great fighter. He's an amazing fighter, but I think he's naturally a smaller man, and I think as he gets older and moves around less, and there's younger fighters coming up, you're starting to see, it's not really a decline, but you're starting to see that size difference take over. I think I can't remember what he started at, but he started his career very small, 120 something up to 130, and then he's moving up to 135, and everyone he fights is bigger than him. We saw it with Lopez. Even this guy Ortiz was bigger than him in there, so once you start to get that issue where you move up in weight and you're getting older, you sometimes see some evidence of that, and that's what I think we saw a little bit of that in this fight as well. Lomachenko was dominant in the last 7. From 7th round onwards, I think he won the majority of the rounds. He definitely won the last 3 rounds, that's what I believe. But credit to Ortiz. Ortiz came to fight. I'm very happy that he didn't just come there to lay down. He came to, give a good account of himself. The first 4 rounds, he was, on the front foot. He looked good, he looked sharp, he looked strong, and he was winning a lot of those rounds. So the early rounds, Lomachenko often does take off a few rounds, and he takes a long time to kind of get his rhythm and download data on you, which is what people say. People always say that Lomachenko was downloading data. I think in this case, you can't really say someone is downloading data if they're getting hits. Mayweather used to start slow. Floyd Mayweather would start slow, and he would download data on your timing, your tendencies and all that stuff, but he still didn't get hit. So when people say all this downloading, I think it's just ring rust. Yes, there is a little bit of that, but if you're getting hit, you're not downloading anything. So end of the day, early on, Loma was getting hit in the same way that he was against Lopez, but he showed his skills and what it means to be a champion. Another thing I thought that was amazing about Lomachenko's performance was that Ortiz had never fought. This was his first 12-round fight. So I saw later on in the fight, after the 7th round or 6th round, 7th round, Lomachenko was really pushing the pace of him. Even when the bell went and they went to their corner, Lomachenko would get up early so that he could kind of start straight away and just push that pace on him. So he really pushed a really good pace on him, and it showed up. Last 3 rounds I would say, Lomachenko really put that pace on him. But Ortiz stuck in there and he came back, he raised the pace himself. And it was a good fight, very competitive. I think it was a great fight back for Lomachenko, and a good win. It was convincing enough. But was it convincing enough to say that he is a contender to take over the division at 135? No, it wasn't, unfortunately. It wasn't. I don't think that's a bad thing, you know, but I just don't think that it was enough. I think Gervonta Davis is going to be a very tough fight for him. I think Shakur Stevens is going to be a very tough fight for him. And the toughest fight of all, probably Devin Haney, in my view, is going to be an incredibly tough fight for him. I think Kambosos would be a tough fight for him. Do you know what I mean? And all the guys I just mentioned are also bigger than him, you know, and I think they're all younger than him. So they're starting to be a little bit of he's starting to be in a little bit of a deficit here, Lomachenko. But I think he's a great fighter. I think he's the best fighter at 130 pounds. I think he's the best fighter and he's untouchable. At 135, I think is a bit difficult because there's a lot of young guys who are very tough, very strong, very skilled, and they can match him for energy. Even if they can't match him for skill, some of them, they can match him for energy, for stamina, and they can match him for punching power. And you know, it starts to get difficult as you get older. As simple as that, you know. But glad to see Lomachenko back. I still want to see what he can do. I would definitely not write him off to become unified champion again. If anyone can do it, it's Lomachenko. He has all the skills and everything needed. He just may be on the wrong side of 30, and he may be on the wrong side of 135 pounds, if you know what I mean. Bit too small, bit too old maybe to be champion, but definitely still top 3, top 4. It's just he's in a division now. I did a video calling the lightweight division the division of death, because there's so many people that are just as skilled, just as strong, just as fast, just as stamina, almost just as experienced almost. If you look at a lot of these fighters have had enough fights to make it competitive. So if you look at who Lomachenko is up against now, you know, you've got Kambosos. Obviously, Lopez has moved up to 140, but you've got Kambosos, you've got Devin Haney, you've got Gervonta Davis, you've got Garcia, and there's more fighters that are coming up at the moment as well. Just to add to the list of difficult people that could give Lomachenko trouble, you know, and you've got even is it Keyshawn Davis and a few young fighters. So I don't think Lomachenko's got long. I think he should give it his best shot. Fight Devin Haney. If he was to beat Devin Haney, I would say he should. If he was to beat Devin Haney, and then obviously there would be a rematch, and if he was to beat Devin Haney again, I would say be looking at retirement maybe. You know, maybe a few more fights and then retirement. I just think it's going to get tough. But I never really like to talk about retirement on fighters, you know. Lomachenko is too great of a fighter to be talking about retirement. So congratulations on the win for Lomachenko, shaking off the ring rust. Devin Haney got in the ring afterwards, and that was really exciting. I want to see a fight between them two. I think Devin Haney, if you've watched any of my other videos, I think he's the best. His biggest test is probably going to be, it's definitely going to be Gervonta Davis. But then again, you've got Garcia, you've got Shakur Stevens coming up. It really is division of death. I don't know who the best is. Anyway, it was a good fight. Like I said, Lomachenko dominated the last part of the round, but I think it was competitive all the way up to the 11th round. You know, even the 12th round, it was competitive. But I think Lomachenko just won the 12th round quite clearly. And just another little side note of Lomachenko. One thing Lomachenko said, and I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but at the end of the fight, when Devin Haney got in the ring and they were talking about, you know, fighting each other, Lomachenko, Devin Haney said, you know, yeah, I didn't think it was a great performance, but I think he would be better. He would be better against me. And the first thing Lomachenko said after he'd won that fight with Ortiz, he said, "Look at this guy. Does he look like a lightweight?" And this, I know he was kind of joking, but he was very serious. You know, he knows he's a smaller guy. You know, he's coming up a lot of weight. If you look at Devin Haney in the ring, he looks huge. I know he's not cutting weight, but Devin Haney is a big guy, you know, and Lomachenko knows this. He knows that he's undersized at this division. And I'm not saying that Lomachenko is scared of Devin Haney, but there is a realization in Lomachenko's head that he is undersized. And a lot of these guys are bigger and stronger. I think that realization came, I think he knew that he was smaller than a lot of fighters moving up, obviously, but he didn't really think that it mattered until he was beaten by Lopez. You know, beaten by Lopez, struggled a little bit with a bigger guy in this fight. He's starting to realize that, you know, he can be beaten by these bigger fighters, and it's not really fair if a guy is naturally bigger. And this is the truth. Devin Haney is moving up 135. He's not going to stay there long. He's going to move up to 140. He's going to end his career probably 154, you know, just like Floyd Mayweather did. You can see that, you know, and Lomachenko could never fight at 154. You know, 147 and 154 are completely off limits to Lomachenko. He's just too small, and I think he's starting to, that realization is starting to, he's starting to notice. He's starting to notice that there is a difference. He's getting older. These guys are quite strong. He's not moving around like he could before, and I think he's just realizing that, and I think it's natural to know that. Floyd Mayweather, who's the best ever in my view, you know, even he knew that at his age he couldn't compete with the up-and-coming stars. He never tried to call out, you know, Keith Thurman at his best, or Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, none of these guys. He said it was a different era, and I think that's what's happening to Lomachenko. I'm not saying Lomachenko is finished or anything like that, but he might be on a downward decline. He just might be on a downward decline, coming up against these bigger, stronger, younger guys. I could be totally wrong. Let me know in the comment section if you think I'm talking nonsense. I could clearly be wrong. If he beats Devin Haney twice, then I would take my hats off and eat my words. But as I see things, that's kind of how I see things at the moment. Anyway, let me know, like I said, what you think about the next the next move of Lomachenko, and let me know if you think he's got a chance against Devin Haney. I'm on to the next one. Once again, guys, if you enjoyed my video, please consider liking, sharing, and leaving a comment and subscribing to my channel. Thank you.